We got a big old thing that happened last night on Wednesday. Ronald Acuna Jr. didn't just join, he established the 40-70 club. First player
Yep.
ever with 40 home runs and 70 stolen bases in a single season. I think
Amazing.
this is outstanding.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Before we get too far into this, though, Brig, I'm curious because I've heard people talk about the bigger bases, limiting pitcher checks over on runners and everything like that, like pickoff moves, everything. Does any of that taint those 70 stolen bases, or is it just he happens to be like this is the time he plays in and he's taking advantage of it because he's super fast?
Dude is super fast. He's adapted to the scenario and better
Yeah.
than everybody else.
Could
The
you
end.
imagine how many bags Ricky Henderson would have stolen in this situation, though?
Oh, man.
Prime Henderson probably had had at least 200 bags.
Oh, yeah. You mean in one season?
I was looking at it, and he had well over 100 several times, or he had over 100 several times.
Yeah. It's
And
possible.
I don't know. Like he'd have to get on base 200 times, right?
Yeah, of
But
course.
honestly, if I'm Ricky Henderson and with these rules, I'm bunting to get on, and then I'm stealing second, probably stealing third as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think
Incredible.
it's fantastic. The thing that was really interesting about this whole thing, though, was this happened in extra innings. They stopped the game, celebrated it. He took the base, he pulled it out of the ground, a la Ricky Henderson. Am I right?
Yep.
And then I'm assuming it was the chief of the grounds crew brought out a new bag. They put it in place. They set the other one aside so he could take it home, put it in his office on his trophy case, whatever. This 100%. Is the thing that I thought was really interesting was that the Cubs, I know the Cubs broadcasters for sure, because they were just like, are you serious with this? And some fans really took umbrage with the Braves celebrating Acuna in the middle, like in the moment, in the middle of the 10th inning, rather than waiting for the game to end.
Yeah.
They were straight up like not okay with this, with what's going on. And specifically because this was a meaningful game for the Cubs as far as the wild card race goes.
Correct. Sure, of course.
Do you think it's fair or foul for them to stop the game in this situation? Do they need to be more aware of what's going on? Do you think it's okay for them to stop the game in this situation? Because never forget, Mark McGwire, when he hit, 62? When he hit 62, they stopped everything.
Everything
When he got 62. So what do you think?
It's a great question. My opinion is that it's okay to slow things down. It's okay to pause. I don't have a problem with any of this, especially because it was in Atlanta. It's his home crowd, his home turf, everything like that. We all saw it coming. I don't think anybody should have been surprised by this. This was his second stolen bag in the game. So we saw it coming, right? Everybody knew this was even just a possibility, if not an inevitability, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, I think that had it been an away, this is my problem. Had it been an away situation where he was not at Truist Park, that home club would have slowed things down for him too, and everyone would have patted them on the back for sportsmanship. But what's happening is because it's in Atlanta and because there are playoff implications, I think everybody else got a little bit upset. But you reverse the situation, I don't think anybody gets upset. So I think there's a double standard at play. Obviously, we'll never know that. There's no way to prove that. That's just what my intuition's telling me.
I absolutely agree with you on that. I think that if it had been an away game, I think that they would have done that too, and should have done that. I think it was absolutely the right move because nobody has ever done this before.
Nope.
Ever done 40-70. And this is the thing too, is that umpires know this stuff is coming. Major League Baseball knows this stuff is coming. They brief everybody on this stuff before it happens. And even if like it's not like premeditated that he's going to take the bag out of the ground and they're going to send it in the dugout, they have to be aware that there's probably going to be a delay.
Yeah.
Right. That the umpire went out there, he brushed off the plate, let them do their thing. That he didn't call a pitch clock violation on. I think it was Ozzie Albies was up next. You know, because he's letting the guy have his moment, and very well he should.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, for all I care, like, forget about the playoff race at that point. History is being made. I don't
Yeah,
care who it is.
yeah, that's the hard part though, because I mean, Cubs fans are still really emotionally invested in the season, and well, they should
Mhm.
be.
Right.
So I don't blame Cubs fans for being upset either.
Yeah,
Honestly,
they were going to lose that game anyway, though. I think if
but
that
it's in
was
extra
if that was
innings.
stolen base 65, they'd have lost that game because Albies was driving him in no matter what.
Yeah, he was that, and the combination. Can we just take a minute and talk about the combination of Acuna and Albies back to
Oh,
back?
geez,
Like it
so
is
scary,
just,
so dangerous.
it's incredible. It's like Stockton to Malone, right? It's so
Yeah,
automatic. It's just, it's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. You
So
know the pick and roll's coming, but you can't stop it. You know
you
Acuna's
can't
going to
do.
get on still second, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
you know what though? He was out. The throw beat him,
Hmm.
but Dansby Swanson couldn't hold on to
He
it.
muffed it. Yeah, he
That was the
muffed it.
problem. Yeah,
Yeah, and
but
that's
that's half the battle.
well, and Swanson being a former teammate and all the celebration at the end of the game with him being kind of like cold shouldered by it a little bit. That's what it looked like. If you watch certain outlets and certain footage of the celebration at the end of the game, it does look like Swanson kind of gets, you know, ignored by his former team. And that, to me, that's interesting. And I think a lot of Cubs fans are using that as another reason to be upset on behalf of Ozzy Albies
The
or
key word,
Dansby Swanson.
the key word is former. He's no longer a teammate.
Yeah,
You don't get to be
I know.
part of it, whether you want to or not.
Before we move on, G. Moreland jumps in the comments. He says that there are other players in Major League Baseball that are as fast as Ronald Acuna Jr., and they're not stealing 70 bases. And that is a fair point, my friend. That is
It is.
exactly right.
Yeah, because I don't know how he compares to Julio, but that's because Julio doesn't get on base like Acuna does.
Right.
Nobody gets on base like Acuna has this year. The fact that he was able to steal 70 bags, he had that many opportunities, and that's the thing that's crazy to think about. Is it not just that he got them, that he had that many opportunities? Because he doesn't steal second every time he's there. He doesn't steal third
No,
every time he's on second. You
no,
know,
he does. Yeah.
he's got that in excess, and there are a lot of guys who are, like you said, as fast that haven't had the opportunities, so they're not even close.
Good call. Good
Crazy to
call,
think about.
George. Yeah.